The United Nations has been a major partner, a decisive one, for Timor-Leste achieving its independence. It has been a major partner in mobilizing international resources, coalitions, partnership in our state building, nation building, in the development of the country. Without a United Nations that bring together member states, but also civil society actors, a United Nations is also able to mobilize goodwill from international private sector. It would have been next to impossible for a small country like Timor-Leste to prevail in our struggle for freedom, for justice. And not only that, it would have been extremely difficult for a country like Timor-Leste, all other LDCs, and as a matter of fact, for any country in the world to succeed, to prevail. What would be the world? Law of the jungle, of the fit, or it would be law of those with massive power that they can unleash and impose their will? So the experience for all of us of the last 80 years of United Nations existence, its weaknesses derive precisely from the fact that it is made up of 190 plus countries. Its strength derive precisely from the fact that it is a coalition of all countries in the world, that in spite of the differences, rivalries, we are able often to reach consensus. That's why we approve the United Nations Charter, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the numerous international treaties, law of the sea, laws of war, humanitarian law, the complex human rights protection mechanism, and we have special envoys, special representatives, United Nations mission, peacekeeping, etc., etc. That's only possible in a situation where an institutional organization like the United Nations, instead of being weakened, blamed for the failures of member states, we try to salvage it. We try to make it more democratic, more representative of the world today. So it might not be perfect, but there is no other better multilateral institution. Congratulations, United Nations, for our anniversary.
80 years after its founding, the United Nations remains one of humanity's greatest acts of hope. For the people of Timor-Leste, the United Nations served as the foundation through which we could realize our right to self-determination and freedom. It gave our struggle a voice, and it gave the international community a way to act when our people needed it most. When we restored our independence, it was the United Nations that stood beside us, helping to secure peace, build our institutions, and guide the first steps of our new nation. With the UN's support, Timor-Leste has become a peaceful and democratic nation with an open society, respect for human rights, and institutions that continue to grow stronger in the service of our people. Yet, today, the world faces new and difficult challenges, including conflict, rising inequality, and the growing vulnerability of fragile states. We must not allow any nation to be left behind, because global peace depends upon the security and dignity of all. The United Nations remains indispensable as the one place where all nations can speak and where the principles of peace, justice, and cooperation can still guide the humanity forward. On this 80th anniversary, we honor the UN for its lasting contribution to peace building and state building in Timor-Leste, and for its continued role in shaping a more peaceful and united world. Thank you very, very much.
It is an honor for me, as the Vice Prime Minister and Coordinating Minister for the Social Affairs and Minister of Rural Development and Community Housing, to wish the UN a very wonderful congratulations as you celebrate the 88th anniversary. This celebration event has been organized in the collaboration with the Government of Timor-Leste, led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation and the UN Residence Coordinator in Timor-Leste. I would like to begin my reflection by observing the Timor-Leste journey with the United Nations is deeply rooted in our history during our fight for independence and immediately after independence. The United Nations helped shape the principle of the peace, fight for the human rights, and multilateral cooperation that remain at the heart of the UN Charter. I am confident that Timor-Leste and the UN in Timor-Leste will continue to work together for peace, security, and sustainable development. The shadow of the conflict to the light of peace and vision for inclusive development. Timor-Leste has walked a path that inspires nations everywhere. This wisdom will continue to guide our national decision on peace and security. Let us continue to work as one big family in Timor-Leste. Happy United Nations Day and happy 88th anniversary. Thank you. Obrigado, Barak.
Excellencies, distinguished leaders, ladies and gentlemen, as we commemorate the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, Timor-Leste proudly joins the international community in celebrating 8 decades of multilateral cooperation. Cooperation that has shaped our journey from conflict to nationhood and from independence to active global citizenship. For Timor-Leste, the United Nations is not an abstract institution. It is a partner that stood with our people at the most critical moment of our history, supporting our path to self-determination, guiding our transition to peace and democracy, and helping us rebuild our institution from the ground up. Our deep belief in multilateralism is also reflected in Timor-Leste's role as a founding member of the G7+, a coalition advocating for peace building, state building, and mutual learning among fragile and conflict-affected states. This initiative embodies our conviction that global challenges must be met through solidarity, dialogue, and collective responsibility. This commitment continues today as we consolidate our development gains and strengthen our role in regional and global affairs, including our historic accession to ASEAN as its newest members of ASEAN's principles of cooperation, peaceful dialogue, and a rules-based regional order reinforce our alignment with the United Nations values and further anchor Timor-Leste within the global multilateral family. As we look up to the decade ahead, our shared challenges are increasingly global. The climate emergency threatens lives and livelihoods. Inequality, instability, and humanitarian crisis demand collective action. And the international system must continue to evolve to remain inclusive, effective, and fit for purpose. Timor-Leste reaffirms its commitment to the United Nations Charter and to the values of peace, dialogue, human rights, and sustainable development. Through our new UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2026 to 2030, we will deepen collaboration to accelerate progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, protect and promote human rights, safeguard peace, and build climate resiliency for all Timorese, especially our youth who represent the future of our nation. As the UN enters to next chapter, Timor-Leste stands ready to contribute as a responsible and active member of the global community, championing principled diplomacy, fostering partnerships, and working together with all nations to ensure a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. Congratulations to the United Nations on 80 years of service to humanity. May our collective action in the coming decade honor this legacy and strengthen it for generations to come. Thank you.
Multilateralism is not just an abstract concept for Timor-Leste. Without an international system based on the rule of law, without international solidarity, without the United Nations, Timor-Leste would probably not exist as a sovereign country. And today, Timor-Leste has made significant progress in nation building and has emerged as a well-respected actor on the international stage. The European Union will continue to support the country, often in cooperation with our friends from the United Nations. We work together to offer sustainable peace and prosperity to the young people who are the future of Timor-Leste. And we have to work together. No country can meet the challenges of today alone. Collective action is the only way forward. The United Nations remains a central platform for such collective action. This is where all nations come together as equals to find solutions to problems that do not stop at borders and affect us all.
It's an honor to celebrate the United Nations 80th anniversary. For Timor-Leste, the UN has been more than an international body. It has been our mentor and unwavering partner in our journey from conflict to independence and statehood. We will never forget how multilateralism transformed our nation, establishing peace and laying the foundations for democracy. This stability allowed us to immediately prioritize and invest in our people's development, starting with education, the highest return investment a government can make. As we look forward, let's strengthen our commitment to the UN's founding principles to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, advance human rights, and ensure a peaceful, resilient future for every child in Timor-Leste, as well as for all children across the globe.
I'm Caitlin Wilson, Australia's Ambassador to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. It is a pleasure to help mark UN Day on the 80th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. For 8 decades, the UN has played a crucial role in upholding peace, stability, and human rights, and supporting sustainable development around the world. This is particularly relevant in Timor-Leste, one of the great success stories of the United Nations and multilateral diplomacy. From the months leading into the UN-led referendum on Timor-Leste's independence in 1999 And since, the UN has played a key role on the ground, restoring peace and stability, helping to rebuild institutions, and supporting Timor-Leste to create a better future for all Timorese. It is clear to see that this important work continues today, with the UN operating throughout Timor-Leste across a wide remit. This work is complemented by Australia's own support to country-owned and country-led development. As Timor-Leste's largest development and security partner, Australia is working alongside the UN and other partners in support of Timor-Leste's priorities. Together, we are advancing our shared goals of a peaceful, stable, and prosperous Timor-Leste. Ongoing progress requires collective commitments and practical actions to further accelerate progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals and to advance peace, stability, and human rights, and build climate resilience, while also reducing Timor-Leste's vulnerability to disaster and climate risk. Together with my team, I look forward to continuing our work alongside the United Nations on the ground and in strong partnership with the Government of Timor-Leste.
Good morning, Volunteer. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, which comes at a critical time when the UN is at a crossroads facing critical challenges. At the UNGA General Statement this year, His Excellency Mr. Siyasak Thailand's Foreign Minister, reaffirmed our country's steadfast commitment to multilateralism to the UN. There's no doubt that the world still needs the UN, and the UN needs all of us. Regarding the role of the UN in Timor-Leste, one can hardly deny that Timor-Leste's remarkable journey to nationhood is one of the most successful stories of UN engagement from the very beginning until the restoration of independence in May 2002. During that time, Thailand played a significant role contributing to the UN peacekeeping and security missions in Timor-Leste, demonstrating Thailand's strong commitment to Timor-Leste as well as to regional stability. The Thai forces provided not only humanitarian assistance and reconstruction support, but also community development, especially in the fields of agriculture, water, and land management. Looking now forward to the future of Timor-Leste, a few key commitments are important. The first one is the transformation of human capital through SDGs and strategic investments in order to eliminate multidimensional poverty, including child malnutrition, as well as improving the quality of education to create decent jobs for the youth population, diversifying the non-oil economy, especially in agriculture and the blue economy, is key to the realization of this goal. The second one is the consolidation of peace and governance by strengthening the integrity of the country's democratic institutions. The last one is the protection of human rights and inclusion, ensuring that no one is left behind. In this regard, addressing gender-based violence through women empowerment is one of the areas the Thai Embassy in Delhi has provided continued support to local NGOs such as Kasavida and Arola Foundations. Another key area of UN engagement concerns maternal and child health, a cornerstone of Thailand-Timor-Leste cooperation, encompassing both hardware and software dimensions. On the hardware side, in August this year, Thailand, through the neighboring countries' Economic Development Cooperation, or NEDA, joined hands with the government of Timor-Leste and the UNFPA Timor-Leste in a trilateral project. With a total grant of $700,000, the initiative will support the rehabilitation and upgrading of Pemong centers in Telikai and Bakia, Bakau municipality, and provide two multifunctional vehicles to enhance emergency health services. On the software side, Thailand looks forward to working with UNFPA and the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Culture to upgrade Timor-Leste midwifery curriculum to meet international standards. In addition, a team of researchers from Mahidol University is conducting a joint study on stillbirth in Timor-Leste. These initiatives reflect our shared determination to ensure that every Timorese mother and child receives the care they deserve. Let's hope that the next decade be defined not only by peace but also by the prosperity of the two countries, and the UN will achieve together. The partnership is strong, the commitment is shared, the future is in our hands. Obrigado, Barak.
今年是世界反法西斯战争胜利和联合国成立80周年。经过80年的发展，联合国已经成为当今世界最具普遍性、代表性和权威性的政府间国际组织，在全球治理中发挥着不可替代的重要作用。作为联合国安理会常任理事国，中国始终坚持真正的多边主义，坚定维护以联合国为核心的国际体系和以国际法为基础的国际秩序，永远是联合国可以信赖的伙伴。近年来，习近平主席先后提出构建人类命运共同体理念，以及全球安全倡议、全球发展倡议、全球文明倡议和全球治理倡议。这些理念和倡议与联合国宪章是一脉相承的，应该成为人类和平与发展事业的崇高目标。联合国及其各机构在东帝汶实现独立、社会稳定、经济社会发展方面发挥了不可替代的独特的作用。中国政府与联合国儿童基金会、世界粮食计划署驻东代表处进行了成功的合作，在改善当地儿童营养、提升卫生医疗水平方面进行了良好的尝试。我们支持联合国各个机构促进东帝汶经济社会发展、改善民生、气候变化、维护妇女和儿童权益等方面继续发挥作用，造福更多的东帝汶人民。祝贺联合国成立80周年，谢谢。
As the country director of CARE in Timor-Leste, it's a great honour to join the UN to commemorate the 80 years of multilateralism and partnership across the world. Here in Timor-Leste, CARE works with women and girls in remote, rural parts of the country, and our partnership with the UN includes collaboration in the areas of education, nutrition, as well as humanitarian preparedness and response. Looking ahead to the future, we share the vision of peace, development, and human rights in Timor-Leste, and therefore we're so happy to come together and to celebrate and to wish our UN colleagues a very happy 80th birthday.
First of all, let me extend my congratulations on the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. Thanks to the tireless efforts of its member states, including Timor-Leste, and its own dedicated work, the UN has played a vital role in the world up to today. At a time when the international community is facing complex crises and growing divisions, Japan believes it's crucial to return to the fundamental principle that human life and dignity are of utmost importance. We should strive for a world where even the most vulnerable can live safely and securely. In other words, a world where human dignity is upheld. We need a common language that resonates with all of humanity. By highlighting human dignity, we can advance people-centered international cooperation, overcoming differences in regimes or values within the global community. Japan has consistently led the way in people-centered international cooperation, grounded in the concept of human security. In Timor-Leste, we believe it is essential to accelerate our efforts to achieve the SDGs with this approach. Together with the UN, we would like to advance step by step from where we can. Thank you.
NGO Belun in Timor-Leste, I would like to give my congratulations to the United Nations 80th anniversary. Keep strengthening partnership within civil society organizations to achieve the goals of SDGs, human rights, and build climate resilience in Timor-Leste.